So hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching and listening to us this particular day. So today we are running an episode on climate activism and youth leadership. We are glad that you've joined us right now, and we hope that you'll engage with us actively as we move forward. So on today's episode, as I've mentioned, we will be dealing with climate activism and youth leadership, and we are glad to be joined by some amazing young people doing some amazing work at the local context and level within Vihiga County. Some two impressive young leaders that I would like to have them introduce themselves and help us build this conversation moving forward. So welcome on board. So I'll have you introduce yourself by name, by what you do, and by what you want to achieve.
Thanks, Mr. Makova. Hello, everyone. My name is James Nyabera. I'm the founder and the chairperson of Mashinani Empowerment Initiative. I'm a passionate climate change enthusiast, and doing a number of interventions through the Mashinani Empowerment Strategic Initiative. Our main objective is to address some of the climate mitigations and adaptation measures so that we can empower communities to adapt to living with those effects of climate change.
That's amazing, Nyabera. It's interesting. Your work actually inspires me and a number of other young people on how you mobilize young people, how you bring together the community, and how you try to create a conversation on so many social, environmental, and conservation matters. I'm glad to have you on board. So, about yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Makova. I'm Vincent Muhavi, also a member of the Mashinani Empowerment Strategic Initiative, a CBO, community-based organization working within Vihiga to empower young people and the community in general on climate change and agriculture-related aspects. We deal with a lot of smart agriculture to communities with the aim of enabling people deal with the changing climate aspects, so that they're able to adapt to the changing world. And as you know, agriculture really relies on climate, and so climate change affects agriculture in a major way, especially in terms of food security. If the climate change is adverse, you expect that the farming technologies will have to be affected, and that affects food security.
Yes, I like the fact that you are so clear on you being an agricultural expert and the number of interventions you're taking in terms of education, building knowledge, not just building knowledge, but also making sure that it's propagated beyond this generation.
Yes.
So, Mashinani, it's a story that we can talk about.
Sure.
Mashinani CBO and the aspirations that you've set forward. But then there is something I know about you. Yeah, you are someone into social justice. And the context at the moment, I don't know how much you are playing a part in the idea of reject the bill, but get us to understand how is this aligning to what young people really want in the climate space, and how we can really have a conversation on building this forward.
Thank you, Kevin. And I just want to delve much into what Mashinani does.
Yes.
And when you look at even the name of the organization, Mashinani, it actually means the rural setting of where the organization operates. And given that Vihiga is mostly a rural county, we realize that the climate change issues affect both the urban and the rural areas. But we feel that some of the interventions we need, like the rural setting, is highly affected by matters climate change, because we realize that it's in the rural setting that we produce food, we do farming, like in Vihiga we do subsistence farming, So when there are aspects of climate change like drought, when we have erratic rainfall, when maybe there is so much rainfall, so you realize that the farmers are highly affected. So when you look at that, there is so much that comes with it and the climate change that maybe needs more interventions. So our major initiative is to equip the communities with the knowledge, and most of it we dwell with the climate smart agriculture, because you realize that during dry season, if you do you need to involve like irrigation farming, you need to involve like the technologies like the black soldier fly, you need to involve like the azolla farming, so that you can do production all year round. So that is some of the things we do in Mashinani. So that other thing, we educate, we sensitize communities, because the climate change comes with it affects the indigenous farming practices, and you realize that we lose our culture. When you look at even the flora and fauna, our forest, the vegetable cover in the region, they're being depleted. Even we're losing a number of birds, we're losing a lot of animals because of these issues of climate change. So one of the things we do, we sensitize the communities on the need to protect such kind of indigenous species, both the flora and fauna, and of course we come in, we promote indigenous tree farming, and so that we also maintain the African culture. So that is what advises our interventions as Mashinani, as the name suggests. And secondly, we host. Yes.
So I just wanted us to get something clear on the aspect of Mashinani, rural communities, rural challenges, rural solutions. And I understand we are at Gimarako village. This is in Hamisi sub-county, in Vihiga County. And this area is, as we can see, is a hilly area. There is an aspect of, to a certain level, highly forested. There is a river. Someone just showed me a river around that joins into River Nyando. And then there is a small forest somewhere around here. And these two sites are quite important, or are signature locations for this area. So I want both of you to talk about them. Just tell us about them. Tell us about what are some of the threats that you see presently, and what do you think are some of the actions that we should take? So starting off with you.
Okay, thank you, Kevin.
So what is the name of the river, by the way?
Okay, the name of the
river?
Emujinga.
Emujinga means stupid.
Actually, you may not know why it was named that way.
Yes.
But that aside, the river plays a very important ecological role in this area, because it supplies water to the communities, basically for farming and so on. And young people should embrace farming, because there's enough water. And it also ensures there is enough forest cover through. Maybe the challenges, one of the challenges and threat to that river is sand harvesting. And as you can see in some sections of that river around Muhaya, you'll find that the river banks, they're actually widening, because people are harvesting sand as they move into the arable land. So that has affected farming in a big way, and it is also threatening the ecosystem of that area. So maybe we can have mitigation talks, mitigation measures to ensure that we create enough sensitization to the communities living around that area, that indeed, to maintain the ecosystem of that area, sand harvesting should be stopped, and people engage in alternative economic activities such as smart agriculture that requires maybe on small pieces of land, but using modern farming technologies such as greenhouse farming, garden kitchen gardens.
So there are always there are always other options.
Yeah, there are always other options.
Young people might be ignoring them, or they do not have the opportunity to understand these options and how to access them. And so it gets into the conversation. What are young people doing? What is Messi doing? What do you think youthful organizations or youth-led organizations should do? And you can also mention one of the women-led groups within the community, Muungano women group, that is doing some amazing work in indigenous foods. Yes. So
before I look at the great work the young people are doing, look at even these rivers feeding into Lake Victoria.
Yes.
That plays a very vital role in maintaining the whole ecological system. And then you look at even the house or having the forest cover, the number of forests around, which are very important cultural sites, especially for Tiriki circumcision. So you realize that, as my colleague has mentioned, some of the depletions or some of the human activities that cause extinction of these rivers and even forest, encroachment issues. We have these encroachment issues, and even during very dry season, you look at some species of trees dying off. From Mashinani, we borrow so much from. We're inspired by the work of a team called For Reserva Farm. Its intervention is geared towards protecting for reserve, and you realize that maybe they do a lot of work because one of the danger or one of the issues affecting this river is the eucalyptus, because our farmers would like to use they use actually even the riparian land to plant this eucalyptus because of their high commercial value. But when you look at what we actually borrowing so much from for reserve, advocating for indigenous trees that will help protect the river sources. So it is actually what we actually doing. We are doing actually an indigenous tree seedling, actually with the support of Forest Reserve. We collaborate closely, and so that we can also sensitize farmers and teach them the need to replace these trees.
I find the work Mashinani is doing amazing, and it's the fact that you've taken time to collaborate and work with other like-minded initiatives within Vihiga is amazing. Now that we're talking about Vihiga, the county government, I understand there is action within this space, and I would like to get your perspective on the experience. What is happening? How are youths involved? And how do you think we can move forward from where we are at the moment?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. When you look at the issues of climate change, that's so huge, because the youth organization, youth-led organizations, the civil society, we are trying to do so much within Vihiga County, and one of the reasons is that we have goodwill from the government, but then when you ask about the role of the county government and even providing us good environment to our climate change intervention, it's because of the very goodwill of the Governor Wilberforce Otichilo. He's actually the climate champion countrywide, and of course he sits on the Council of Governor as the head. Okay, so within the county government, I want to talk about the structures, the existing structures that have been established, and thanks to the World Bank funded FLOCA Fund. And I'm privileged to be a member of the World County Climate Change and Planning Committee within this Tambua Ward region. And through that, one of the things that was done, this was a robust and a very thorough selection process, which was actually elective throughout the 25 wards.
Yes.
The county government and even climate change actors appreciate that the youths are one of the vulnerable groups, because we bear the brand of climate change, because because of the trajectory. If nothing is done, of course the world is getting finished, and of course the youths and even our generation stand a great risk, of course bear a lot of impact of this climate change. So it is very important to have youths at the center of this conversation. The county government has put in place projects, and good thing these projects are actually community engagement. They are done through public participation, whereby members of the community propose projects of investment based on the local problem, based actually on the local problem. Even in Tambua Ward, we are actually implementing a project towards mitigating the communities on this effect of climate change. So the county government of Vihiga plays a very critical role, even in setting pace, even in putting up the structures. We are one of the first
it was
counties.
actually the first county.
Yeah, it was actually the first county, even in putting up the act, adopting the act, and even operationalizing the act. So we actually set pace, the whole country, and I think even the work we in the civil society and the youth are doing, it's out of the goodwill and the good environment from the county government of Vihiga.
Yes, that points to a very interesting conversation around sound leadership, amazing exemplary leadership within Vihiga County, led by Governor Wilbur Utichilo, who also doubles up as the chairperson of the Climate Change National Steering Committee. That's amazing. So we seem to be in an environment of privilege. We are at a position where we have good leadership at the governance structure. We are at a position where we enjoy certain level of collaboration and involvement for the young people. But I want to be very specific on this one, and I'll be going to you on this hard bullet.
Yes.
If we were to say this leadership works at the county level, and then we talk about how they prioritize their solutions or the programmatic interventions. I understand presently there is a lot of priority on water.
Yes.
What else do you think could be another priority, basing on what young people are doing, what they are acting on as alternative livelihoods?
Okay, thank you. I want to say that in addition to water, we could address the aspect of youth, the rampant youth unemployment.
Yes.
And this can be addressed through available channels such as agriculture and climate change. That is by practicing climate smart agriculture, empowering youth through various farming alternatives, by sensitizing them and giving them assistance to start up agricultural activities that will provide self-employment to them, and through agribusiness. And I must hail the fact that the youth of Vihiga County have joined so many farmer cooperatives of late, and several farmer groups, and they're trying. I can say that initially most youths after high school, they used to travel to Nairobi to go and seek jobs. Right now I can see a big change. We're also focusing on value addition for these agricultural products. Knowing that some farm products are perishable, so we are providing those skills on value addition, and we believe that if this is taken good care of, if more youths are empowered in that direction of practicing climate smart agriculture, while merging it with agripreneurship, I believe we are in for a very positive change among the youth.
That's interesting. So we are on lights out. It's an amazing conversation that I would really love to have with you the whole day, for a whole week. I believe, and I've always attempted to propagate the idea of youth climate actionism, not necessarily activism. Not just about what is not working, it's about what can we do to make things work. And I'm glad that you guys have been very impactful to have this short session with us. Just put forward some of your ideas and some of the amazing knowledge that you possess.
Thank you.
My hope is for us to have this conversation continued. I believe you guys will be joining our public dialogue sessions, where we will have as many other young people as possible to just have conversations around youth, climate and culture. While I invite you for that, I want a parting shot just call to action. What do you think?
My part in short would be, when you look at the dangers, the climate change comes with a lot of dangers, of course, affecting a number of livelihoods. But then the good news is that there are climate change opportunities. There is some good news out of it, because through that we get to learn some of the farming technologies, even within a very small space. And because of this conversation and because of this action we are taking, we're able to produce enormous amount of food because of the climate change technologies. So I want to encourage youths to identify the opportunities they can leverage on.
Hope for tomorrow. Yeah. President Obama calls it hope in adversity. So we might be in a situation where we believe that things are going down, things are bad, but there must be hope in adversity.
Sure. I'll close by telling the youths to create opportunities where there seems to be no opportunities. So it's just to encourage them to keep practicing, to come out, to engage in participating in creating of favorable government policies that provide platforms for them to be part of the change that they need. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. I don't know how I can say this, but
Thanks for having us.
So,
thank you for having us.
Climate Culture is all about youth, climate, and culture. A conversation for in-depth and understanding of what role young people are playing, what has been the cultural standards for us from the past, and what cultures can we give to the future generations. This production is a preserver production enabled through the amazing support of our partner, the USAID, the Young African Leadership Initiative, which is hosted at Kenyatta University, and also gladly supported by the Youth for Climate Initiative program by the Italian Ministry of Environment and Energy Security that is developed through the UNDP. We're glad to have you on set today. Look forward for our upcoming episodes and keep interacting. You will see our social handles on the screen below. Thank you. Goodbye.